You are now listening to MrZBlackneffect.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. Um, what's up with y'all? Okay, let's do this. So we are responding again to Lady Boulay. I don't know if her response was to Mr. Z or if it is to shout out to Inspired Truth, but she doubled back and made sure to right. She spun the block on the Black Manosphere. A lot of the same talking points, a lot of ahistoric or ahistoricism. And hopefully I don't work too much. I know I am somewhat in a dead zone. So if anything, I just will be repeating myself. That's all. Just let me know and we'll just pick up where we left off. So, right. So, yeah. So Lady Boulay, and I'm glad that she did this because this speaks to Black female elders and how they speak to Black young women. How they act like they don't know what the hell happened. We just woke up one day and just Black men just were sexist and they just misogyny and misogynorism and colorism and featureism and fat phobia and we don't know what happened. We just woke up one day and they hate us. Right? As particularly, obviously, the Black Manosphere, and this is how Lady Boulay was speaking. So we will be reviewing it. Yes, I have the sound clip. No, it is not too long of a sound clip, so we will be reviewing that. Yeah, so let's get into it. And before we do that, right? Before we do that, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And let's commit.
Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Today, I'm talking about the Black Manosphere again and the damage they've done to Black America. So every generation has a group of people who think they're helping when in reality, they're doing long-term damage. And for about a decade or more on YouTube, that group was the Black Manosphere. This was a loud subset of men who built entire platforms around criticizing Black American women.
Now let's pause right there with the word criticize. Indicate the faults of in a disapproving way. Someone or something, right? Indicate the faults of someone or something in a disapproving way. And the problem is, oh, I forgot. Black women are above reproach concerning Black men. Black women cannot be critiqued by Black men. Black women can't, well, better yet, criticized. Slight difference. Black women can't be criticized by Black men. Not the all-knowing, almighty, omnipotent, omniscient Black woman, right? So Black women spent decades defecating on Black men on mainstream media. Decades speaking about the wonders and greatness of ending up with non-Black men. And that's because white society allowed for Black women to dominate the conversation by putting the thumb on the scales for Black women. And once the internet came along and social media came along and democratized the town square, now we have a problem because Black men aren't supposed to talk, definitely not talk back, definitely not defend themselves, and definitely not give anyone or anything something different to think about. You know what? Yeah, do Black men really hate Black women? Are Black men these raving lunatic colorist and futurist? And I mean, Black men do end up with heavyset Black women. Are Black men these fat phobic? Like, is that really what's going on? See, there was no question, there was no doubt when Black women dominated the conversation because white society allowed for Black women to dominate the conversation. You know how Black women kept on speaking about how great they were compared to Black men because white society allowed for Black women to have jobs. How's that going under Trump's administration? Uh-oh. Huh? How's that going with Trump's administration? Ain't looking too good. Now is it? Huh? Lady Boulay, much like a lot of black women, when they speak like, "Oh, innocent me, oh, sugar spice and everything nice. I'm just here minding my business and being a good, upstanding citizen and uplifting the black community. And oh my God, why are the black men are attacking us?" Like every woman, like every black woman in specific, always reserve the right to play like they don't know what the hell is going on. They're so 100% innocent. And if you catch them talking crazy, it's only as a response to the men. Women, black women in this case, never initiate anything negative. Ever, ever, ever. Never initiate anything negative ever. Yeah. Right? So continuing.
Black American women, not discussing history, not building community, not teaching anything meaningful, just tearing down the very women who come from the same lineage, the same soil, and the same story.
My apologies, everyone, because I did not think to use the Ice Cube effect, and the young ladies from the women from Queens and Cocktails, and how they separated black men from black women, and how shocked Ice Cube was. This was a perfect time to play that clip. I did not think about that before this. Lady Boulay, you can look it up yourself. What are you talking about? It's been black women for decades that have been attempting to separate themselves from black men. Black women have been playing model minority within the black community. What are you talking about? Dear young black women, any one of you under the age, I don't know, 40, any one of you under the age of 30 that's listening to Lady Boulay, Lady Boulay will lead you down the wrong path. Lady Boulay, even though she was married for decades, Lady Boulay, much like other black women, other older black women, love to pretend like they don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what happened. It's just we woke up one day and these black men were just so sexist monsters. I don't know what they do, the white supremacy and the internalized white supremacy and then they're cooning and huh? Yeah. Black women who've been attempting to separate themselves from black men for decades. Now, that doesn't mean they don't want you under their thumb. That doesn't mean that black women, when black women don't feel a certain way when they see black men with non-black women. That doesn't mean that. It does mean that they want you to know your place beneath them. Lady Boulay, much like many women, much like many black women, is speaking as if she did not live through the past, I don't know, 50, 60 some odd years, and saw how black women, IRL, in real life, and on the internet and social media, spoke to and spoke about black men. Black women pull this, especially in front of white society, all the time. Especially in front of non-black people all the time. I don't know what happened. These black men, I don't know. We were just minding our own business and look how they speak about us and speak to us. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Continuing.
We're living with the consequences. Now, this is what I mean. We saw a Nigerian immigrant get up on an international stage the other night, winning a Grammy and saying that immigrants built America. His name is Shabuzi. Shabuzi is only 30 years old. So during his formative years, the manosphere was in their heyday. If they had been talking about the Black American story, about the contributions of our ancestors to the culture, country music, where he just won a Grammy, riding on the back of Beyonce, if they had been about their father's business and talking about the right things, he may not have gotten up on that stage and made the mistake of saying that immigrants built America. So today I want to break down how the Black manosphere didn't just harm relationships, they harmed the Black American brand.
The Black American brand, when black women dominate everything. No, let me tell you exactly what Black American men are actually doing and what women like you are doing in response.
that I dated.
Hi, this is Dr. Rihanna. I'm calling from South Florida, and I'm really exhausted with the number of brothers who always lay their issues on black women rather than doing the work. Black men need to step up and be more masculine, and then it would allow black women to be more feminine. Rather than doing the work and figuring out how to make things better, we always running away. Our men are always running to other women and blaming our black women. It's sickening. No, I don't believe black men need to continue to run away from their tribe. Black men do not need to continue to abandon black women. Absolutely not. I think they need to put in the work to become more masculine, and that would allow black women to be more feminine, and we can have a more harmonious community. So I'm very offended by it. No, they need to work.
Where you at, ma'am?
The brand you're speaking of is the matriarchal, if you want to be kind, gynocratic brand. And black men said they want no parts of it. And you can't make us, Lady Boulay. What brand are you speaking of? This brand?
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. Black men come from our bodies. Yeah. So black men have black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black community.
It is very strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah. The matriarchy is strong with the black.
Is that the brand you're speaking of? And don't let it be lost on you what Whoopi said about black women speaking to black men. Play it again, Z.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women.
And told what to do. Ooh. And told what to do. Is that the brand you're speaking of, Lady Boulay? Black men can't be told what. There's this myth out there. Myth. Whoopi Goldberg, similar to your same age, if not older than you, Lady Boulay. You know better than Whoopi Goldberg? Uh-oh. Whoopi Goldberg says there's this myth out there. Ooh. There is this myth out there that black men can't be told what to do by black women. Is that the brand? Uh-oh. Yeah. About that black women being innocent and sugar and spice and everything nice, and they're just minding their own business on the internet and on social media. And here come these sexist wannabe patriarchs, these misogynist and misogynorous black men, to come and mess up black women's day on the internet and on social media. Say it again, Whoopi.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women.
Ah, that's gonna be a difficult one to combat. Hey, Whoopi Goldberg is spring chicken. Lady Boulay, similar age as you, Lady Boulay. Ooh. Ooh. See, the black manosphere, the way y'all speak, just came out of nowhere. Just a bunch of sexists, drooling at the mouth, could barely speak. Neanderthals. They hate black women so much they could barely speak. It drives them mad. And here's Whoopi Goldberg saying to you, in no uncertain terms, she left no room for interpretation. There's this myth out there that black men can't be told what to do by black women. Speak, go ahead, Lady Boulay, because I'm going to let you keep on going. And speak the praises of the black community before social media. Everything was copacetic. Everything was great. everything was on the up and up, and here come these weirdo black men, these little sexist weirdo black men on the internet that just came out of nowhere. Huh? And I think Sonny Hostin has something to say after Whoopi Goldberg spoke. Oh, only confirming it. Go ahead, Sonny.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. Black men come from our bodies.
Yeah.
So black men have black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is
You know,
strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is
You know,
strong with the black
It is
community.
very
The matriarchy is strong in the black community, or within the black community, however Sonny Hostin said it. The matriarchy is strong. You mean gynocracy, but okay, fine. Lady Boulay, what are you talking about? Everyone sees it, Lady Boulay. Everyone. Sonny Hostin, unprompted by Whoopi, said the matriarchy is strong in the black community. Ooh. But when we let you speak as if you don't know what the hell, I don't know where this came from. These little sexist monster black men. Huh? You don't know where it came from. Meanwhile,
how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings with, they are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to.
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what belongs to him, because you know women, as long as we can get, we're gonna get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
yeah, Lady Boulay, that was recorded, what, in the 70s? Ooh. Lady Boulay, that is a black woman saying we gonna do whatever we want to do unless you take the power from our cold, dead hands. See, Lady Boulay, you could talk the way you're talking because you're speaking to a bunch of black women who don't know. They don't know. They're looking at you for guidance, and you're lying to them. You're the worst kind of older. Not elder. You are the worst kind of older. Young women, or at least younger than you, black women, looking for some guidance and wisdom, and you look them in the face and lie to them and point them in the same direction as, well, other racist, anti-black men. The black manosphere, and what you're really trying to say is they're trying to buck the system. Let's get to it, Lady Boulay. Your biggest issue with the black manosphere is that the black manosphere is saying something different. They're trying to buck the system. They don't appreciate the hierarchy where black women are automatically on top. Ooh. Ooh. They think they can do something different than what we tell them to do. Uh-oh. Lady Boulay, that's the real issue now, isn't it? Now, I don't expect for you to actually say it. Huh? One thing I will give your age cohort is that y'all weren't as loud, debatable, weren't as loud and brash about the matriarchy. Whoopi Goldberg is a bit more rare. Oh, but by the time you get to Z's age, oh man, they're yelling it from the rooftops. So your age group may be a little less likely to admit. That's why y'all had a problem with the Moynihan report. Uh-oh. Continuing.
They distracted the world from our culture, our history, and our contributions. And now the next generation is left to clean up behind them. So now
The next generation is left to clean up behind them. And what Lady Boulay is speaking to is Shabuzi at the Grammys essentially saying immigrants built this country, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And so Lady Boulay is saying that's the Black Manosphere fault because the Black Manosphere wasn't running around speaking about the history of Black America. I don't know if Lady Boulay appreciates how many Black people, Black men on the internet and on social media, from Home Team to Torian, to Torian Rain, better yet, a bunch of Black men speaking. I'm not saying they're claiming Black Manosphere, speaking about the history. You know who else speak about the history? Oh, one of your arch nemesis. Wait for it, BGS. Uh-oh. Yeah. So Shabuzi, who's under the age of 30, you're blaming on Black America, the Black Manosphere. Shabuzi speaking about how not even Black immigrants built America, which you've heard multiple people say before. You're blaming that on the Black Manosphere because if the Black Manosphere was doing its job, according to you, Shabuzi wouldn't have said something like that because Shabuzi would have known, no. Black America built America, not immigrants. But because Shabuzi said what he said, that's the Black Manosphere fault. If that's the Black Manosphere's fault, because of the influence of the Black Manosphere, will you accept that this is the fault of women like you?
I knew that I had to leave my religion when they said that women should submit to their husbands and submit to leadership. And I realized that if my husband came to me with some leadership objectives and I disagreed with him, I would not be able to let him do the things he wanted to do. I would continuously and constantly torment him and taunt him and mock him until he does what I want because I feel like I'm better. Like, I just knew that I had to.
Uh-oh. Lady Boulay, this Nigerian young lady, right? Sounds like she's in America or she's lived here. Could we blame her on you and on other Black women your age? She's admitting that she will taunt her husband. She will make fun of him. She will ridicule him unless he does what she wants. Can we blame this attitude concerning a Black man and a Black woman? Can we blame that on you and other Black women of your same age? You want to know why we have Black men going and being passport bros, including Nigerian American men? Uh-oh.
That I dated. Hi, this is Dr. Rihanna. I'm calling from South Florida, and I'm really exhausted with the number of brothers who always lay their issues on Black women rather than doing the work. Black men need to step up and be more masculine, and then it would allow Black women to be more feminine. Rather than doing the work and figuring out how to make things better, we're always running away. Our men are always running to other women and blaming our Black women. It's sickening. No, I don't believe Black men need to continue to run away from their tribe. Black men do not need to continue to abandon Black women. Absolutely not. I think they need to put in the work to become more masculine, and that would allow Black women to be more feminine, and we can have a more harmonious community. So I'm very offended.
That lady was saying similar to, well, this lady.
How are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings.
In other words, Black women are saying, yeah, we know we are who we are, but you have to be goddamn Superman and break our will. Oof. Yeah, we're going to be roguish. Yeah, we're going to be obnoxious. Yeah, we're going to be loud. Yeah, we're going to be aggressive. Yeah, we're going to be combative. Yes, we are. But you can't just be a man. Oh, no, we require so much more. We require you to be goddamn superhuman and break our will, or we will, well, let the Nigerian American lady say it again.
I knew that I had to leave my religion when they said that women should submit to their husbands and submit to leadership. And I realized that if my husband came to me with some leadership objectives and I disagreed with him, I would not be able to let him do the things he wanted to do. I would continuously and constantly torment him and taunt him and mock him until he does what I want because I feel like I'm better. Like, I just knew that I had to leave my religion because my pride was too much. And yes, I'm not getting rid of my pride because what they call pride is what I call autonomy. Let me tell you how that would play out. So say he wants to do X, but I think we should do Y because I feel like Y is a better option. And he decides that he wants to do X. I'm going to do Y regardless.
Oh, that word autonomy. And thank you for the correction, Saint Cyr. My statement still stands. And Saint Cyr says, Nazi, they don't even live here part of the time. You got to be tapped in with Nigerian Twitters. They be talking greasy. The feminazi movement in real life in Nigeria is strong. I Show Speed recently experienced it. Okay, look. But where is this ideology coming from? Is it not coming from American feminists primarily? And the way she's speaking, that autonomy word, Black American feminist. It doesn't matter if she didn't step a big toe out of Nigeria, internet and social media. That'll fix that. Where is this lady getting this mentality from? Huh? Where's she getting this mentality from? And you wonder why the first thing the Afghans did when they took back over Afghanistan was like, oh yeah, the ladies in school, yeah, no. You're not gonna mess up our culture and our society with this feminist crap. It's not even about female empowerment, it's about female domination. Nope. Oh, and it was the US funding it? Nope. Soft power, no. Soft control through the women. The next thing y'all know, y'all ladies are gonna be chasing after whitey McWhite men. Like they weren't already when the US was in Afghanistan. Uh-oh. Yeah. That's why you see so many of these Middle Eastern countries, they ban certain things. Nope, you're not gonna watch that. Nope, we're not letting you watch this. Nope, you're not gonna read this. You're not gonna turn our country upside down with this talk of quote unquote autonomy. Huh? Oh man. Continuing.
I knew that I had to leave my religion when they said that women should submit to their husbands and submit to leadership. And I realized that if my husband came to me with some leadership objectives and I disagreed with him, I would not be able to let him do the things he wanted to do. I would continuously and constantly torment him and taunt him and mock him until he does what I want because I feel like I'm better. Like, I just knew that I had to leave my religion because my pride was too much. And yes, I'm not getting rid of my pride because what they call pride is what I call autonomy. Let me tell you how that would play out. So say he wants to do X, but I think we should do Y because I feel like Y is a better option. And he decides that he wants to do X, I'm going to do Y regardless. And I'm going to mock him and I'm going to taunt him. I'm going to continuously quarrel him and make fun of him and literally just torment him until he does what I want. That's when I realized that I can't submit. I have to be submitted to. That's when I realized that there is no bone of submission in me. I want me as a woman, I like the idea of a man submitting to me and letting me do whatever the fuck I want. That's when I realized I had to leave my religion because I would never give any man peace. I would torment him and torment him and I would torment him and tear him down. By the time he's done with me, his self-esteem will be in the gutters. That's when I realized I had to leave my religion because I'm not a virtuous woman at all. I realized that I was a Jezebel, a fucking witch. When I realized that when I hear pastors talk about submission, you know, they would say, oh, well, your husband is in the driver's seat while you are in the passenger seat. Bitch, I'm taking that steering wheel like this. Wham! Ramming us off the road. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
Oh, what you have to love is how loud the ladies are being now. Certain women always thought like this, right? We know the story of Lilith, supposedly Adam's first wife, for those of us that know that story. Why it's important that the women are speaking like this. This is going to you, Lady Boulay. We're still addressing you. Regardless if they're Black American, whether they're Nigerian, South African, Black Canadian, Black Brit. Why it's important is because it makes it impossible to ignore when they're this blatant. You can't reinterpret what she said. She didn't say anything about equality. She said, you will do what I want you to do. You will submit. I need to be submitted to. She blew up any idea some of you lameoids have. You lame-ass men, you lame-ass black men, some of you lame-ass Nigerian men. She blew up any idea you had of, no, the problem is that, you know, the patriarchy and the women just want equality. Women more and more are telling you, oh, no, we didn't mean that. As Mr. Z has been saying forever, as some of the black manosphere has been saying forever, no, the women wanted the institutions to break the will of the men and keep the men still providing while having no say-so. And that's across the globe. And so where women are going with it now is, well, if the system won't break the will of the men, then we won't have your kids. Don't worry, science will fix that. If the system won't break the will of the men, then we'll just date the men and attempt to break their will ourselves. Or if we can't do it, then we'll just try to threaten them with dating the omniscient, omnipotent white man. Have children from the omniscient, omnipotent white man. What you gotta love is, especially the newfangled, the young women, they're frustrated. They're tired of pretending that their issue is that the men aren't engaging in egalitarian relationships. No, the newfangled, what you gotta love about the young women is they're, look, kiss my ass or else. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Huh? Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. She told you she will rather, ooh, sounds like the black community. She will rather grab the steering wheel and ram us off the road than have her man be in the driver's seat and she's in the passenger seat. Those were her words. Lady Boulay, this type of mentality is coming primarily from America. And what social media is doing is allowing for this to spread so that black women don't have to get on a plane, well, first, get their college degree, go get a master's, PhD, go become a professor, then travel the world, giving air quotes lectures and creating this. Travel the world being professors at different schools. Huh? Creating this. No, social media and the internet is allowing for this mentality to spread fast and wide. And you wonder why on the other end of that are, well, white women who sound like this.
The black kings get divorced, and then what happens? They're like, F it. We're moving on. Snow bunnies are going to clean me right out. So the snow bunnies get on top of things, and they mix, and they have this beautiful baby, and the process continues. So I do find that black kings often go to black queens first, and then they're like, snow bunny time. They'll either divorce them, dump them, and then move on. Swiftly move on, and they'll feel all cleansed, you know. Right. Anyway, on that note, do you like my nails? They're very Christmassy. It's almost Christmas. Divorce season's round the corner, which means snow bunnies warm in January. Yes.
Yeah. While you're speaking, Lady Boulay, I'm playing these videos as a response to make sure you appreciate the environment truly. Mr. Z already suspects you do. You're just a propagandist and a liar, and you're going to lie to the women younger than you about the environment and about why black men are moving the way they are. I made sure to have clips from the 80s and the 70s. Lucky for you, I didn't pull up the clip from about early 70s or some odd mid 70s. Lucky for you. Lady Boulay, you know what's going on. And you lying and being a propagandist does not save black women. Black women will be starving and struggling, losing their homes, getting evicted, becoming homeless, shacking up and sharing an apartment 2, 3 deep, 4 deep, being the sexual plaything for all different manner of men, trying to float because women like you can't get honest with yourself and with other black women about the fact that black men are leaving them out here to fend for themselves because of, well, women like you of varying ages. Huh? Continuing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
I knew that I had to leave my religion when they said that women should submit to their husbands and submit to leadership. And I realized that if my husband came to me with some leadership objectives and I disagreed with him, I would not be able to let him do the things he wanted to do. I would continuously and constantly torment him and taunt him and mock him until he does what I want, because I feel like I'm better. Like, I just knew that I had to leave my religion because my pride was too much. And yes, I'm not getting rid of my pride, because what they call pride is what I call autonomy. Let me tell you how that would play out. So say he wants to do X, but I think we should do Y because I feel like Y is a better option. And he decides that he wants to do X, I'm going to do Y regardless. And I'm going to mock him and I'm going to taunt him. I'm going to continuously quarrel him and make fun of him and literally just torment him until he does what I want. That's when I realized that I can't submit. I have to be submitted to. That's when I realized that there is no bone of submission in me. I want me as a woman, I like the idea of a man submitting to me and letting me do whatever the fuck I want. That's when I realized I had to leave my religion, because I would never give any man peace. I would torment him and torment him and I would torment him and tear him down. By the time he's done with me, his self-esteem will be in the gutters. That's when I realized I had to leave my religion, because I'm not a virtuous woman at all. I realized that I was a Jezebel, a fucking witch. When I realized that when I hear pastors...
She's jizzing her panties saying it.
They would say, oh, well, your husband is in the driver's seat while you are in the passenger seat. Bitch, I'm taking that steering wheel like this. Wham! Ramming us off the road. Fuck you talking about, nigga. That's when I realized that submission, womanhood, as it relates to Christianity, will never be my fucking cup of tea. And so I abandoned my religion, because I would rather shit in my hands, clap, and then eat it and smear it all over my face than to actually submit to a man. So that's when I realized that I'm not going to do that shit, and then I abandoned my religion. If you want to do X and I want to do Y, I'm doing Y, you're doing X. Which is why I love the concept of being with a man, but him being away from you. Like, I would love to date a man and he will be in his house. At first, when I heard that thing, I was like, what the fuck? But I would actually love to date a man, but not marry one. So he can have his house, he can have his... Or maybe we'll be married, but he will just live in a different place. Like, live differently from me. Like, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes away from me. And then every weekend we can see each other. Or maybe you can come and spend a week at mine. I don't know, but I just like the idea of me being completely autonomous, and submission is going to deny me of that, unfortunately, because every time I hear the doctrine, it's like, oh, you just have to make space for the fact that God called him. I don't give a fuck. If you come and tell me that God told you to do something, we're not doing it, period. No, God said we should. I don't care. That it's not getting done. It's not. No, God told you what? I don't give a fuck. We're doing what I want. How about that?
You heard that black scent, that black American scent. How about that? Huh? Shout out to Bad Baby. Yeah. I wonder where she's getting that influence from. What's influencing her? Yeah, I think that black scent, that black American scent, gave it away at the end. Lady Boulay. You know what I like about these non-American women in specific, when they speak about female empowerment and feminism, is if they're not from the UK or America, they don't appreciate how to be a bit more subtle with it, a bit more soft, and imply that it's because the men are oppressing them. And you do get that. But with women like this, what you have to appreciate is, like, they don't appreciate that they should play victim. Huh? She's not playing victim. She's straight up telling you, look, I'm about my autonomy. He can live over there and I can live somewhere else. Wait a minute. And by the way, yes, the video's coming. We're going to be covering it with other women, American women, black women saying the same thing. I wonder where she got that idea from. He can live over there and I can live over here, and maybe we stay with each other for a couple days, or maybe he come live with me for a week, but I just need my autonomy. Huh? About that birth rate. Uh-oh. Huh? About that birth rate and that population. this idea spreads across Africa, and you could kiss the idea of Africa being the only place with a viable birth rate. You could kiss that goodbye. They'll end it in a decade or two. Africa will catch up to the rest of the world with that crap ass birth rate in the blink of an eye. You let this mentality spread through Africa. Only people that be having kids is the women in the bush that don't have a cell phone. And good luck with that. Huh? Good luck with that. Yeah, Lady Boulay. Lady Boulay, if you're thinking Mr. Z is putting all of this on the shoulders of you and other women like you, other women of your same ilk, you damn right. Huh? Yeah. You damn right. And Dr. Dizzle, you're the one who triggered it. And Dr. Dizzle says, not house car job. No. Isn't that what she said, though? Isn't that what she said? Didn't she say similar to this?
As a man, if you don't have house car job, don't look for a woman with house car job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting. And bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
Lady Boulay, this has been on the internet for a while. Videos like this, black women speaking like this. Y'all lucky Mr. Z didn't have the right mind to download videos like this back in 2016, 17, 18, 2015. 2017, 18, 19. Black women have been speaking like this for the longest. Yeah, Lady Boulay, you damn right. You want to know what else Mr. Z got?
I'm not submitting to no man that expect me to go 50-50. You want your wife to bear your children, cook, clean, work enough hours to handle big bills, and take care of you? You expecting me to pay big bills, baby? I'm gonna want some bussy when I get off of work. Fuck is you talking about? Bend that ass over. Let that bussy breathe. This what you wanted, right? 50-50, right? And I do mean assume the position when I get off of work. As soon as I get off of work, that ass better be tooted up. As soon as he get up off me, I'm gonna look at him like, my turn. My turn.
Lady Boulay, if you don't know what bussy is, that is male anus. What she is saying is if you have her paying any significant bills in that home, then you are a yitch in her mind. And she will take your manhood. That is what she is saying. You might as well bend over. Lady Boulay, come again about how you don't know where the hell black men in the black manosphere came from? And how the black manosphere criticizes black women? You don't know where the black manosphere came from, right? Yeah.
I'm making this as a PSA to any man that ever thought he had a chance with me or any man that wants a chance with me. If you like 50-50, stay where you're at, baby, because this mouth is only going to get more egregious. I promise you that. I'm paying these big bills and you think I'm not about to be talking to you out the side of my mouth? Watch this. Watch this.
I'm paying these big bills and you don't think I'm going to be speaking to you out of the side of my mouth? Lady Boulay, I don't have to explain it, but I will anyway. I'm paying these big bills. You don't think I'm going to be talking to you out of the side of my mouth? I'm not going to be disrespectful. You got another thing coming. That's what she's saying. I will be disrespectful. Oh, but Lady Boulay, it doesn't end there.
That if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Now, for clarification, in the video where this young lady is, Broke is anyone that's not making double what she makes. Her words. See, when y'all hear broke, understand what she's saying. She's not saying that you literally have no job. She's not saying that you're making some minimal money. No, she's saying you're not earning double what she makes. Her words. Then you are broke, and she will belittle you. If she earns more money than you, she will. If you watch the long version of this, she will belittle you. Her words. And Lady Boulay acts like she don't know what the hell happened. It's just out of nowhere. The Black Manosphere popped up out of nowhere. Lady Boulay, Black women like these women I'm playing have existed on social media and on the internet from the beginning. Black women like the ones I'm playing have existed before social media and the internet. Need I say it again? I said it the previous time. The Tommy Sotomayor's and the Angry Man's, and yes, I see what Angry Man's doing. By the way, yes, I see that. Hey, I'm going to address some of the Black male elders of the Black Manosphere in a stream. I'm going to address it. I'm going to address it. Don't worry about it. Continuing. The Angry Mans, the Obsidians, the Tommy Sotomayors, the Sergeant Lee Peaks, the Avenue Rands, the Thugticians, all of these folks admitted, and they said, and this is what you're ignoring, Lady Boulay, this is what you're not saying to the Black women younger than you, is that when these men came online, they admitted, including the BGSs of the world, even Black Manosphere 2.0, they said they came online to respond to sexist tropes about Black men. They came online, the O'Shea Duke Jacksons, they came online to commiserate with other Black men and to combat sexist tropes coming from white society and coming from, wait for it, Black women concerning Black men. Yeah. Sexist tropes. Right? And intelligence is Valdez is Spanish, O'Shea is African, right? As a matter of fact, O'Shea Duke Jackson is Black American, but okay, if you didn't know. He's in Africa, but he's Black American. He's ADOS FBA, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct Z if I'm wrong. Intelligent, you got that a little backwards. But either way, Intelligent, we just started making that delineation and distinction about a decade ago. Stop it. Intelligent, you don't care. We just started making that distinction online on social media seriously about a decade ago. Stop. Black women don't care. You're Black, you're Black. You're Black in America, you're Black. And Black women reserve the right to denigrate you and disparage you and belittle you. Because as this young lady is saying, Black women are supposed to lead and Black men are supposed to use their muscles in their listening ears and carry out instructions.
What if Black women were supposed to be the leaders and Black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
And to Intelligent and to Lady Boulay and any Black women who is listening, this is why Black men are grabbing their passports and going overseas. This is why Black men are practicing SYSBM and dating non-Black women. Oh, and wait a minute, and marrying non-Black women. Shout out to all the Black women who think they slick. I date interracially. Diverse swirl. All those Black women speaking like that. Where's the wedding ring from the white man? Yeah. Continuing.
Behind them. So let's get into it. For years, the Black Manosphere dominated YouTube's algorithm with one topic: Black women. Not Black American history, not systemic issues, not solutions, not empowerment, and not legacy. Just
so when Black women were on Oprah or Rolanda, or y'all start naming it, especially you exes, because I'm slipping on all the names. Or what's heavy set white girl name? There was a couple of them actually. All these talk shows in the '90s when black women were on them, were they speaking about legacy and solutions other than black men kissing their ass? Was they doing that? Sally Raphael and all these other talk shows, when black women were on all of these talk shows, from Maury, huh? All of these talk shows, were they speaking about solutions, or were they pointing their fingers at black men and adding on to the sexism and misandry directed towards black men? Huh? Ricky Lake, Sally, yes, thank you. Ricky Lake, right? Sally. When black women were on these shows, Ginny Jones, thank you. See, if any black women that's listening in, this is what we're talking about. These are the women that y'all consider elders, and they're lying to you. I want y'all to appreciate black women jumped out the gate like this at the end of civil rights. And Pauli Murray told y'all why.
I don't think we are going to solve the question of racism until we solve the question of sexism, or until both are solved simultaneously. So that women's liberation, after many years of struggling with race liberations, women's liberation has become, in a sense, for me personally, a priority. The black male, like the black female, will not be liberated until we have a free society. It seems to me obvious by now that a 10% minority, even if it were 100% organized, in the economic and to some degree political and social powerlessness that Negroes have in this country today, cannot bring about a successful revolution, or I would prefer to say a successful transformation of society. The very weight of numbers and the very pervasiveness of the female presence, which cannot possibly be segregated, holds out, it seems to me, potential hope for a successful transformation of.
What you saw coming out of the 70s is the divergence of black male, black women politics. And as black men break free of the shackles of the gynocracy, you may see that grow even bigger. You are seeing it grow even bigger. Shout out to Tiffany Cross. Black men, get in line next to, behind black women. Yeah. All the Ice Cube effect did was put a nice pretty bow on what black men already suspected. Shout out to Claudia Jordan and Vivica A. Fox and Lisa Ray and them. Huh? Yeah. What Pauli Murray is saying is black women have decided that we don't have the numbers as black people. So we're going to hitch our wagon to white women in the female empowerment movement, and white women, because they have the numbers and because they are the mothers, the daughters, the sisters, the wives, the nieces, and the girlfriends of white men, white women will kick down the door of equality for the rest of us. We will back them, they will kick down the door, and we will all benefit. And 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 years later, we're here now. Black women, fastest growing evictions, or first, number one evictions. Black women losing 300 and some odd thousand jobs in the matter of what, 2, 3 months, 4 months? In the matter of a couple years, they lost what, 500 and some odd thousand jobs? White women. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to call that back. Y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'm sorry, y'all. And we're back. My apologies, y'all. No, it's not reckless stream. It is not a reckless stream. But yeah, we definitely had to handle that. Continuing. Young women need to appreciate that the Lady Boulets of the world are going to lie to them. We've had decades of black women, the black women intelligentsia decide to hitch their wagons to white women in the female empowerment movement. Okay, fine. They gambled. They gambled. They made a conscious choice. The beauty of what Polly Murray is saying here is that it was a conscious choice not to align and continue to align with black men, but to align with white women. And now that we're decades out, we see the fruits of that labor, or lack thereof. And what it means is when white men decide to regulate, when the conservative side of the political spectrum decides to regulate, black women who put all their onus on not leftists, but liberal and neoliberal policies coming from primarily white women and some left of center white men. What ends up happening is the first group, and the group that is disproportionately impacted is black women. Now, do black men feel some of that? Of course. What you see and what Polly Murray is describing, and I'm still directing this to Lady Boulay, is the divergence in black man, black women politics. Black women thought that they had safe haven with white women who still marry white men. Uh-oh. And decades later, what you see is the cost of that, number one. Number two, choosing white women over black men cost black women black men, cost black women security. What you have to appreciate about the Nigerian young lady is she said her autonomy over everything. Other black women agree with her across the diaspora. And black men are moving accordingly. But black women don't speak as if they started this. What does he mean? Black women said my autonomy over everything. Black men respond, but black women start the conversation at black men's response, not at black women saying my autonomy over everything. Huh? Lady Boulay, you are the worst type of older. You misframe things. You're lying and you're being a propagandist for the black women you claim to care about, for the same black women you claim to care about. Continuing.
Just in this content, attacking black women for whatever personal grievances they had. And because YouTube is global, that content didn't just stay inside our community. It became a cultural export. People from all over the world consumed it without context, without nuance.
They do have context and nuance. The black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. That is why there's no white men coming to save black women. We go and address it in a minute. That's why there's no Latinos, no Asian men to come and say, if black men were so horrible, if the black manosphere was so sexist and horrible, and over the past couple decades, the black manosphere just been spewing all this negative rhetoric about black women, but white men and Latino men and Asian men saw through that, then where are these men to be with black women in any significant number? Especially young black men on top of that, under the age of 30. They do have context. Huh? Wow. whether it's cruises, whether it's Middle Eastern countries, whether it's the middle of Africa, black women are being deleted in Africa, being hemmed up in physically regulated, better yet, in Africa. They're being deported from Middle Eastern countries. God damn. They're not being talked to and flirted with in East Asian countries. Well, damn. They're being deleted in African countries. They're being ignored in Latin American countries. And what do black men in America have to do with that? Deleted in Africa, deported in the Middle East, ignored in East Asia, huh? The sexual plaything for everybody around the globe, huh? Ignored in Latin America. We're talking about black American women in specific, huh? Oh, not simply ignored in Latin America, sorry. In Latin America, and the Caribbean too, but Caribbean's a little different. In Latin America, black women are relegated to pay me for the peen, pay me for my time. That's black women black women paying Latin American men for some triple X fun and for the boyfriend experience. What does that have to do with black American men, black men in America? Lady Boulay, they do understand the context. These non-black folks or these people who are not Americanized, whether they're black or not, they do understand the context. Lady Boulay, they see your videos on the internet. Soraya Brooks just walked in the room. Ooh, goddamn. All the white women just walked in the room that are with black men. Lady Boulay, non-black women see black women's videos on the internet. They see black women on television. They see Bad Girls Club. They see all of that. Huh? And all those reality TV shows. Real Housewives of Atlanta and whatnot. Huh? What are these non-black women, both in America and internationally, what are they saying? We treat black men better than you do. You don't value black men. Black men on my arm, no black men on your arm. Lady Boulay, they do understand the context. Wait for it, and they don't care. You're not going to shame some Indian man into treating you better because of slavery and Jim Crow in America. You're not going to shame some Japanese man or South Korean man to consider you for relationship or marriage because of Jim Crow and slavery and colorism and featureism and texturism and fat phobia and anti-blackness in America. You're not going to shame a white Brazilian or mestizo Brazilian man in Brazil. The Spanish-speaking Colombian white Latino man, the white Latino Colombian man, the mestizo Latino Colombian man don't care nothing about what you're talking about. They do understand the context. They don't care. The women are like, I'll take them. The Latin American women, the East Asian women, I'll take them. And the East Asian men and the Latin American men concerning black women shrugs. They don't care what you're talking about. Not in a romantic sense anyway. Continue.
Like America, the loudest voices became the representatives, even though they were never qualified to represent anything or anybody. Now, what it looked like from my observation.
And you're correct if you're saying that these black men weren't qualified because they didn't kiss black women's ass in public. And they're not black women. They're not black women, and they don't sing the high praises of black women every time they open their mouth. So that means they're not qualified. This has nothing to do with education or lack thereof. This has nothing to do with life experiences or lack thereof. This has to do with rhetoric. Are you speaking the high praises of black women everywhere you go? Continuing.
From my observation point is that the manosphere thought they were going to convince the world that black women were undesirable. They thought constant criticism would isolate black women and make them fall in line. But the internet doesn't work like that. When you talk about a group nonstop, even negatively, you increase their visibility, and visibility creates curiosity. So what happened? Men from other racial and ethnic backgrounds started paying attention. They saw black women's beauty, intelligence, humor, and culture. They approached with respect. They approached with admiration. They approached without the bitterness and resentment that the manosphere normalized. And
oh, the omniscient, omnipotent, non-black men, primarily white men conversation again. All right, media man, your turn.
I know people are probably asking, like, why would you put a divester in here if they are trying to look for white men? It's because white men rarely marry black women. And the statistical reality is clear. White men overwhelmingly do not choose black women as wives. According to the census data, only 0.5% of married white men in the United States are married to black women. That means 99.5% of white men are not choosing black women. As outlined in the Dating Divide book, when white men do express interest in black women, it is often rooted in sexual curiosity rather than long-term commitment.
As outlined in the Dating Divide, when white men express interest in black women, that interest is often rooted in sexual curiosity, not long-term commitment. In the study, many of the white men interviewed described black women in fetishized terms rather than relational ones. Given that black women receive very little interest from white men, experiences like Deborah's suggest that even that limited attention may be driven by prurient motives. The white men interviewed reinforced the notion that black women were viewed as highly sexual, yet unsuitable for lasting relationships.
So I'm just going to let this be known. I do not hate pink people. I just dislike shit that pink people do. Like that whole thing with, the pink dudes, telling me, oh yeah, I like, black women too. Whole time, a lot of them don't like black women. They might be sexually attracted to black women, but they don't like them. There's a difference, okay? Motherfucker, and that's what a fetish is right there. Like, for real, like, you are sexually attracted to a person, but you really ain't trying to have a relationship with them. You just want to try something. Or you want to rebel against your family because they dislike black people. So that kind of turns you on. It's like when somebody tells you no, and you like, oh, like, you want to do it. Like, mother ain't going to tell me no. Like, I'm finna go do this. You feel me? So that's the type of shit that I dislike. And I'm not saying that I'm the only genuine pink dude out here that, appreciates black women. But I just feel like a lot of pink men do not really appreciate black women.
This is why so many black women continue to circulate the outdated Bratter and King study claiming that black women and white men have the lowest divorce rates. They push that statistic in hopes of convincing white men to consider them as wives. Yet, the numbers haven't changed. White men still overwhelmingly do not marry black women. According to the Census Bureau in 2015, only 0.5% of married white men are married to black women. So the reason why I put the divester in there is because sometimes these women will learn the hard way that this one-way obsession that they have with white men doesn't work out. Where do they come next?
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Yeah, Lady Boulay. So this idea that, first, the marriage rate is going down across the country. The marriage rate is decreasing across the country, across all races and ethnicities, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely the white, black, and Latino group. And yet, as the marriage rate decreases, what we're told is that white men who aren't marrying white women, Latino men who are not marrying Latina women, Asian men, that's East and South Asian men, who marry at a higher rate, but are super slowly, especially for East Asian men, super slowly getting married less and less. They're not marrying the women of their own ethnicity and background. They're skipping over white women because we're told that white women is every man's gold standard. That's what we're told, even though that's not what the numbers say, but okay, fine. So all these men are not marrying women of their own background and race. They're skipping over white women, They're skipping over Asian women because Asian women, East Asian women, are supposed to be soft and submissive. A bunch of crap, but okay, fine. and they're ending up with black women. That's what we're supposed to believe, Lady Boulay, right? According to you, what we're to believe is that the marriage rate is decreasing for everyone, but white men and non-black men find value in black women in a way that black men just don't. And so they're attempting to marry black women and take black women off the market. 0.5% of married white men are married to black women. 0.5%. Wow. Lady Boulay, I said you're a propagandist and a liar and a propagandist. You're the worst kind of older. It doesn't matter what the facts say now, doesn't it? It matters how you feel. And you care more about black women feelings than the facts and the stats, that if black women don't shape up, they will be relegated increasingly, even more than they are already, to the concubine class of America. Black women will become the Bryndock Coven off of The Acolyte. It sounds good to speak the way you are. It sounds empowering. Like this is what resilience look like in the face of constant black male criticism. I know how you're framing it. I get it, Lady Boulay. I get it. But what you're saying is factually inaccurate and ahistorical to boot. Huh? It's ahistorical and it's factually inaccurate, but you don't care now, do you? And to be frank, some of your subscribers don't care. Most of your subscribers and listeners don't care. They need some feel good. Shout out to Holly Berry and Billy Bob Thornton. They need some feel good. Great video reference, huh? Great movie reference. I know. And that's what you're engaging in here. Lies, deception, propaganda, so that black women can salvage their little fragile ego and psyche. Huh? Let me read some of you guys' super chats before we continue. And yes, I did see that. I don't know if she's still here, Lion. I did see your, as a matter of fact, let's read Lion's super chat first. And I'm sorry about taking so long, you guys. I really have to get some of that out. And Lion says, yo, Z, we got some contention. Would you mind letting, I think her name, yeah, we'll just call her Intelligent to hit the link and defend his position? I thought it was a lady the whole time. My apologies, Intelligent. That's not a shot at you. Yeah, if he wants to come up, yeah, we can do that. And thank you for the super chat, Line. Thank you for the super chat. Let's read this from KMS, and not forget about your Arena Revise. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat talking about that. Arena Revise, super chat. No? Okay. And KMS says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson, one of my favorite quotes, right? And Mr. Z's not a fighter. These bird brains speaking with their full chest as if they can't get folded like laundry. Life is folding them. KMS, life is folding them. The polar vortex thing that's going on in the Northeast, the winter storms, the evictions, the federal government and what Trump is doing, and how many black women are being laid off or being fired. And how do black women always frame this? And if they frame it as empowering, right? They frame it with the lens of empowerment. When we look at how many black women fastest growing business entrepreneurs, right? Mr. Z get all type of tongue tied right now. Fastest growing entrepreneurs, black women. But what is left out is how many black women they have to resign themselves to that. That's not something they did enthusiastically. They're being let go and they're being fired, and then it's being reframed like black women are starting businesses because they want to and they're enthusiastic about it. No, they're struggling to find stable employment with their education level, and so they start a business. By the way, nothing wrong with that. Shout out to the Rogers Report. If you can't find a job, then make one, right? Make your own. Understandable. I'm not denigrating black women because of that. What I'm saying is the lying to yourself and to others, and to be frank, to black men. Black women, you do know we see you, right? So, KMS, life is folding black women like laundry. Life. I keep on bringing this up. It's the end of the unipolar world concerning America. The US dollar does not have the power it used to. There's a lot of us, namely women, not just black women, but in our case, we're speaking about black women, who are going to feel that pressure because the era of the loose money and cheap money is over. That affects your ideas. The era of luxury beliefs is over. And we're going to feel that year by year, decade by decade. The strong independent belief, that I don't need no man belief, that I'm gonna have my own home here and whatever man I'm dealing with gonna have his own home there. That sounds good. We will see if you can live that. A handful you might be, but most, especially women under the age of 40, I would argue under the age of 45, it's over with. Many luxury beliefs are going to be put to the test for all of us. Not just women, not just black women, but for all of us. But because black women put so much of their chips in their card on a very antagonistic, combative form of feminism, and because they were so loud about it and they made a culture of it, they're going to be the ones who are disproportionately hurt by America being forced through circumstance and through China and Russia, but through circumstance and through history, America is being forced to reorient itself. Reorient, if Mr. Z could pronounce the word. And black women are going to have to feel that. They're going to feel it. So yeah, KMS, it's America is going to fold black women. History is going to fold them. The environment is going to fold them. If you're talking about leaning on community and leaning on network, we're going to see. We're going to see. Community talk, right? Network talk. Sound nice. Continuing. And thank you for that super chat once again, KMS. Thank you for that super chat. And let's see if we can get to the Arena Revised, I think. Yeah, and the Arena Revised said, notice how she said on the back of Beyonce, talking about Shabuzi, yeah, on the back of Beyonce, black women, erasing Charles Pride, black man, who she's old enough to remember. Darius Rucker too, yeah, Darius Rucker. I forgot the group. It's right there too, the group that he was. Yeah, yeah, Darius Rucker. I know who you're talking about. But yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish. Goddamn, Z, if you could got it out earlier. There we go. Hootie and the Blowfish. There we go. Yeah. So of course, you know, everything originates with black women, particularly in the black American context. Look, if I'm gonna be generous, I'll say it's because of Playboy Carter, and how that album did for Beyonce. So okay, fine. If she's just being a bit short-sighted with the history of black people in country music, right? Okay, cool. Either way, and I see what you're saying, Arena Revised, that the world has to revolve around black women, especially the history concerning black America and the way black men see these things. I get it. Lady Boulay is only doing what she feels is going to get her views, and what is going to keep Black women's fragile psyche upright, barely, kind of, sort of. I understand what she's doing, and you're going to continue to see this for a little while. It's going to last a little while longer. Black women with framing things always in this empowerment thing, always, right? So the mentioning Shabuzi following behind Beyonce, yeah, I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. I don't expect her to say it in any other way. And the Arena Revised, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I don't expect her to say it in any other way. Right? And let me see. And Tony says, there is none to subsidize these delusions. Yeah, it's over with. And I would argue, short of like the most socialist of socialists, Democrat to get into the White House, and I just don't see it happening anytime soon, ever. This is the new normal. The stripped down social programs, this is the new normal. What Trump is doing is shocking the system and allowing space for when we do have a Democrat or third party, not going to happen, but fine, third party. When they come in, they will maybe relax some of this just a smidge, but this is the new normal. This is the new normal. I want us to appreciate that. I want women to appreciate it. I want Black women to appreciate these stripped down social programs. This is the new normal. The precarity of the system, this is the new normal. Unless you get an FDR in there, and I just don't see it. Unless you get a Teddy Roosevelt in there or an FDR in there, both Roosevelts, I don't see it. Maybe one of my elders, someone who studied history better than Zeke, could kind of put this in context and tell me if you see this changing anytime soon. I think this is the new normal. So I agree with Tony. There's no one to subsidize these delusions. And I thought you meant none, but I realized that you just forgot to put the space between no one. But yeah. And once again, there is no one to subsidize these delusions. I agree. It's over. And that's a bit frightening for some of us. You know, we're living our lives. Black people are living their lives. Black men are living their lives. And sometimes you go through it financially. Sometimes you need the safety net. You need to lean on unemployment or whatever is out there for those, especially if and actually union efforts are rising in America, but especially if unions go the way of the dodo bird and the work environment is more precarious than ever, and it's the gig economy, right? The gigification of America and of the West. If that's the environment we're going to be living in, then that's even more reason to have a robust safety net. But if Trump and his administration shed the safety net and follow in the footsteps of Bill Clinton, even worse, then yeah, your delusions are going to meet a wall at 200 miles an hour. And that's going to be an ugly sight. And Tony, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Tony Mystery X. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm missing a couple still. And then we will continue with Lady Boulay. And Talking Ish says, peace to Z. I'm on the continent at least twice a year, Z. The misandrous cancer has found its way there, especially in metropolitan areas. It's sad. Well, then, you know, shout out to all the capitals and major cities across Africa with large populations. I hope for those women's sake, they could deal with it, because at least for Black American women, they had the social safety nets and the system that allowed for this weirdo talk. That weirdo talk on the continent And the continent is developing in certain areas. It's not even developing the way it could be or should be. And y'all already on this top of time? Alrighty then. Sounds good. What Black American women and what Western women writ large won't tell you is what their autonomy cost. That autonomy talk sound nice, right? It sound nice. But when you're living hand to mouth, and when you don't have a robust safety net, and when you don't have the systems in place, autonomy is just a fancy word for lonely. That's what American women, that's what Western women will not tell you. Autonomy is a fancy word for lonely. And that precarity is real as hell. Huh? Sounds good. We'll see. And talking ish, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Sounds good. And Earl says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Earl says, what do you think about Senate primary in Texas? James Tallarico versus Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, I heard the big hoopla of apparently somebody said something about thinking they were going to be debating a untalented Black man, but instead they're debating Jasmine Crockett and you know the big hoopla. I do think Texas is going to slowly but surely flip purple state. I know a lot of people are like, hell no, Z. You can ask A.L. Evans, you can ask AB Media, you can ask BGS. I've been saying that since everybody knew me. As people move from different places around the country, more leftist or blue areas, and move to Texas for the money, stop it. Texas, because of Austin and Dallas and Houston, right, will slowly, I'm saying this, I know it sounds crazy and far-fetched now, Texas will slowly become a purple state. I don't know if Texas will ever flip blue even for an election for president, but blue cities, possibly blue counties in Texas, yeah, definitely a possibility. Definitely. Now, being blue enough to vote flip blue for presidential election, that's a bit much for the short term. I don't know if that's going to happen in the foreseeable future. I don't know about all that, but the sea of red that Texas is county wise, yeah, that's definitely that could be flipped. Jasmine Crockett becoming a senator out of Texas as a Black woman Democrat. I think she might be too early, and I think she might, the antics, as much as Black women and some Democrats, to be fair, who are not women, who are not Black, might like her antics, might like the sassiness. As much as they might like that, we have to appreciate the country we live in and how much that's a turnoff. Right? So Tallarico is not as interesting, not as charismatic, but but less antics and you know, something to be said about the professionalism also, right? So I haven't been following it too tough, not as much as I should, better yet. But I don't know if I see Jasmine Crockett winning, right? Let alone becoming senator, but beating out Tallarico for the nomination of Democrat. And even if she did, okay, fine, she's gonna become senator of Texas. Ugh. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. Right. And thank you for the super chat, Earl. Thank you for the super chat. I feel like I'm missing KMS. KMS, where did you go? I felt like I saw. Oh, I read it earlier. I read it. Yeah, I did read it. The bird brain one. Yep, I read it. Huh? True. The reading advice says you're leaving out voter suppression by District Z. True, that's a thing. That's a thing. It is. It is. Especially. Oh, by the way, side note, for all of my activists out there, be careful because apparently they put y'all on a list, and rumor has it, allegedly, that they're trying to um not take away your voters' rights, but purge you from the voter rolls. They are really trying to take away your voters' rights, but they can't do it, not yet anyway. But purge you from the voter rolls. So for all the activists out there, when they take your name, if they try to take your name, if you give them your name, you will be found. You will find that when you go to vote, maybe, possibly, allegedly, your names would have been purged from the voter rolls. So yeah, just in case you didn't know, right? So continuing, let's continue with this and Miss Lady Boulay. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Let's put that up again, right? And let's continue.
Now, interracial relationships featuring black women are everywhere on social media. I mean, you see black women with Asian men now. And I'm not saying these are all black American women, but a lot of these black women with white men are black American. So the manosphere tried to close the door.
So she's basing what she's saying on social media. So interracial relationships concerning black women are all over social media. And so Lady Boulay says, because it's all over social media, it's a thing. Because it's all over social media. The advertising that black women are doing on social media, black women are doing two things with these interracial relationships. Multiple things. I said two and I started thinking of others. One, they're making their money off of that interracial content. Okay, cool. Two, they're advertising to non-black men and to white men in specific. Three, they're attempting to snub black men. You said nobody want us. Look, white men want us. First of all, I don't know if we said nobody wants you, but the marriage rates say that. I'm just saying. The interracial marriage rates say that. I'm just saying. Right? Basing this on social media and not the numbers only speaks to why men say women are delusional. Forget what the numbers say. Social media says this. Oh man. Forget what Pew Research says. Forget what the National Health Service says, or any one of these researchers, whoever does the research. The family planning people say, or whoever does the research. Forget what they say. Forget what numbers are published. Brookings Institute or any one of those. American Enterprise Institute. Forget what all of them, the Manhattan Institute, which we already know what they about. All of the think tanks I've just mentioned, actually. McKinsey, all the people that do research, forget what they're talking about. Huh? What matters is what social media is saying. Black women who are posting online, doing little two-step dances with their white boyfriends, showing you where their white boyfriends and their white husbands took them on vacation. Then we come to find out that she's the one who paid for it. Oops. And that right, Kings of Queens or Queens of Kings or whatever that channel is called. Huh? And let me read this from Big Mo now. And Big Mo says, black women, white men don't want you. They want to use you. Look, let Z say it for the 1 zillionth time. An attractive black woman is an attractive woman, period. An attractive black woman is an attractive woman. A sexy black woman is a sexy woman. Huh? We still live in America. It's never been black women's loyalty to black men that keeps black women, well, air quotes, stuck in their mind with black men. It's never been black women's loyalty. It's whether non-black men, primarily white men, reciprocate black women's advances. Whether non-black men, primarily white men, see black women the way black women see non-black men, primarily white men, as some type of escape hatch, if Mr. Z could pronounce it, escape hatch from the struggle. Huh? Do white men and Latino men and Asian men and indigenous men see black women as the escape hatch from white women, Latina women, Asian women, and indigenous women? Because black women see these men, these non-black men, as the escape hatch from black men. If I don't want to do my rose toy and single thing, and if I don't want to do my co-munching with my girlfriend thing, I can always pick me up a non-black man. Because these non-black men aren't colorist, they aren't featurist, they aren't texturist, they're not fatphobic, they're not anti-black women. Unlike black men. That's how black women say it, right? That's what they tell themselves, that's what they tell each other. But black women have a difficult time translating their anger and resentment at black men for not being politically and socially white men. Black women have a difficult time translating that anger into interracial marriage to non-black men, primarily white men. Black women can put up all the videos and all the comments, right? Vlogs, blogs, think pieces, articles, huh? Black women can say and praise white men and non-black men as much as they want, until and unless it is reciprocated. Then all black women are doing is just talking and attempting to snub black men, attempting to antagonize black men with these omniscient, the notions of omniscient and omnipotent white men and non-black men. The white men that want a black woman, and they more than likely will end up with a black woman. But that is not the majority of white men or any non-black men. It's almost insignificant, because we're black in America, and black people were brought to America and brought to the Americas to be the permanent underclass. That includes black women. And yes, we know black women were brought in towards the latter part of slavery. I appreciate it. I get it. Concerning America, at least. Black women have a difficult time, once again, translating their issues with black men to being married and having nuclear family with white and non-black men. So we know already of white men and non-black men, primarily white men and Latino men, both underage and of age, who experiment actually, right, with black women and underage black women and girls. They learn all their little tricks. They learn their moves with black women, around the way black women. And as they grow older, they stop dealing with and dating black women. Everyone from Tim De La Ghetto, goddamn Z, you mentioned Tim De La Ghetto. Y'all forgot he went to prom with a black girl? Ooh. You forgot his girlfriend? His first girlfriend was a brown skin or darker skin black girl? Mr. Z didn't forget. Everyone from Tim De La Ghetto to Machine Gun Kelly to Eminem, ooh, huh? To Kid Rock. Uh-oh. Huh? Where is the black woman with all of these men now? And I know what's her name that Tim De La Ghetto married. I think she got some black in her, right? But she don't look nothing like who he used to be with. Huh? I told y'all, Mr. Z, YouTube history go far. Just because I don't mention this stuff all the time, don't mean I wasn't around, don't mean I didn't see it. Don't mean I wasn't witness. And every once in a while, I'll remember, oh yeah, about that. Big Mo, we know, Mr. Z Ramen, we know what these non-black men are doing with black women. Black women, no. They just think they're going to be the exception to the rule and they're willing to risk it. And they're angry at the world when it doesn't work out that way. It's not black men's concern whether these non-black men use black women. Just no reachbacks. The second she starts talking about she's dated this person and that person and this person and that, leave her where she stand. This white man and this Latino man, translation, dating me, she got ramrodded. Can't do nothing with you, can't do nothing for you. Huh? Leave them out there. One of the most open kept secrets in the black community is that black women are not nearly as loyal as they talk. White men not marrying you does not mean you're loyal. Latino men not marrying you does not mean you're loyal. Black women are out here open, pun intended, to non-black men. Just because those non-black men do not reciprocate and turn whatever little situation y'all had into marriage, or they don't reciprocate even to get to the point of XXX activity, does not mean black women are more loyal than black men. What it means is, for the black men that date out and the black women that date out, black men are more likely to turn whatever situation they have with a non-black woman into marriage than black women are to turn whatever situation they have with a non-black man into marriage. Just because there's a gap in between black men interracial marriage and black women interracial marriage does not mean black women are more loyal. That means that anti-blackness affects black women a bit differently than it affects black men. That means that non-black men have their own ideas of skin color and beauty and culture and femininity and weight, that maybe many black women do not fit into nice and neatly. That is not a black man problem. That is not black men doing that to black women. That is not about negative stereotypes coming from black men, Lady Boulay. And Big Mo, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Continuing. And Saint Cyr says, and I've clicked the wrong thing to see that, so let's do that the right way. Saint Cyr says, and thank you for the super chat, all the negative PR black women give black men and all the praise they give non-black men is all for nothing. All the dirty macking doesn't stop the black men's motion. It's more so an annoyance than anything. Non-black women, they're into black men, just ignore them. Yeah, that's true. The non-black women that are into black men, just ignore, if they even hear it, they don't care. I agree with you on that. They don't care what these black women are talking about. Huh? Once again,
the black kings get divorced, and then what happens? They're like, F it. We're moving on. Snow bunnies are gonna clean me right out. So the snow bunnies get on top of things and they mix and they have this beautiful baby and the process continues. So I do find that black kings often go to black queens first and then they're like, snow bunny time. They'll either divorce them, dump them, and then move on. Swiftly move on. And they'll feel all cleansed, you know? Right. Anyway, on that note, do you like my nails? They're very Christmassy. It's almost Christmas. Divorce season's round the corner, which means snow bunnies warm in January. Yes.
And yes, Saint Cyr, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Exactly what you said. Exactly. Huh? Exactly. So these non-black women don't care. Mr. Z has been saying, black women get on a black man's program or you gonna deal with what you gonna deal with. And well, huh? Get on a black man's program or you gonna deal with what you're out there in the elements. That's all. She says it's cold. That it is. That it is. Right? Oh boy. And let me read that from Vince real quick. Where did it go? Where did that comment go? Exactly. And all hell Balamucho says, I smashed black women on the regs. And this is what Undead Chronic said in the middle of a debate and an argument with a black woman who was speaking like, oh, you don't know anything. What do you know? And then no black woman would ever do anything or do or touch you. And he says, I smashed black women on the reg. On a regular. Huh? Black women really don't think these people have studied them or don't know them or haven't paid attention to how black women speak to each other, how black women speak to black men, how black women comport themselves, how black women see relationship. Black women, you have been loud on and off the internet. Your behavior has been loud. Your words have been loud. These non-black men, as much as you think they don't know, they know. So while you're speaking crazy about black men, these non-black men just see you as something to have fun with. They're not going to stay around. Unless, of course, this is what they like from you and they're extremely racist. And then y'all could just have an anti-black man hating mixed little baby, probably daughter, because that's how that works. They don't care what you're talking about. Continuing with Lady Boulay.
Tried to close the door. Instead, they kicked that door wide open, and men who had been wanting to walk through that door came through that door, and they came straight. And all that work of trying to build a case against black women backfired on them. Now let's talk about the missed opportunity.
So non-black men kicked down the door and ending up or are ending up with black women. Non-black men kicked down the door. That's what we're told, right? What door? The 0.5% of white men that are being married to black women? Once again, shout out to Media Man.
I know people are probably asking, like, why would you put a divester in here if they are trying to look for white men? It's because white men rarely marry black women. And the statistical reality is clear. White men overwhelmingly do not choose black women as wives. According to the census data, only 0.5% of married white men in the United States are married to black women. That means 99.5% of white men are not choosing black women. As outlined in the Dating Divide book, when white men do express interest in black women, it is often rooted in sexual curiosity rather than long-term commitment.
As outlined in the Dating Divide, when white men express interest in black women, that interest is often rooted in sexual curiosity, not long-term commitment. In the study, many of the white men interviewed described black women in fetishized terms rather than relational ones. Given that black women receive very little interest from white men, experiences like Deborah's suggest that even that limited attention may be driven by prurient motives. The white men interviewed reinforced the notion that black women were viewed as highly sexual, yet unsuitable for lasting relationships.
So I'm just going to let this be known. I do not hate pink people. I just dislike shit that pink people do. Like that whole thing with, the pink dudes, telling me, oh yeah, I like, black women too. Whole time, a lot of them don't like black women. They might be sexually attracted to black women, but they don't like them. There's a difference, okay? Motherfucker, and that's what a fetish is right there. Like, for real, like, you are sexually attracted to a person, but you really ain't trying to have a relationship with them. You just want to try something. Or you want to rebel against your family because they dislike black people. So that kind of turns you on. It's like when somebody tells you no, and you like, oh, like, you want to do it. Like, mother ain't gonna tell me no. Like, I'm finna go do this. You feel me? So that's the type of shit that I dislike. And I'm not saying that I'm the only genuine pink dude out here that, appreciates black women. But I just feel like a lot of pink men do not really appreciate black women.
This is why so many black women continue to circulate the outdated Bratter and King study claiming that black women and white men have the lowest divorce rates. They push that statistic in hopes of convincing white men to consider them as wives. Yet, the numbers haven't changed. White men still overwhelmingly do not marry black women. According to the Census Bureau in 2015, only 0.5% of married white men are married to black women. So the reason why I put the divester in there is because sometimes these women will learn the hard way that this one-way obsession that they have with white men doesn't work out. Where do they come next?
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung. We got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is, they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Yeah, Lady Boulay, nobody's trying to keep you here hostage. Unlike black women and how they speak, no one's trying to keep you here hostage, Lady Boulay.
That I dated. Hi, this is Dr. Rihanna. I'm calling from South Florida, and I'm really exhausted with the number of brothers who always lay their issues on black women rather than doing the work. Black men need to step up and be more masculine, and then it would allow black women to be more feminine. Rather than doing the work and figuring out how to make things better, we always running away. Our men are always running to other women and blaming our black women. It's sickening. No, I don't believe black men need to continue to run away from their tribe. Black men do not need to continue to abandon black women. Absolutely not. I think they need to put in the work to become more masculine, and that would allow black women to be more feminine, and we can have a more harmonious community. So I'm very offended by it. No, they need to work.
Well, where you at, ma'am?
Yeah. Huh? Just saying. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And once again, age does not wisdom make. I actually might want to change that and says wisdom, age does not make. Yeah, I think I might want to change that. Either way, Lady Boulay, as a more seasoned black woman, is not being honest with her juniors. She's not being honest with younger black women. No, she's still selling the soap, or attempting to. Huh? Continuing.
Hemisphere spent a decade arguing with black women. They weren't teaching the world about the forced labor that built the American economy, the generational suffering that shaped this nation, the contributions of black Americans to every major American institution, the reality that black Americans are not immigrants and never have been. They left a vacuum. And when you leave a vacuum, misinformation rushes in.
You know, I agree with her on all of that. Where were black women to say this when they had the microphone? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Wait a minute. All through the 90s and the early aughts, before social media really took off, where were black women when they had the microphone? When black women were on the talk shows, were they speaking about the history and the context, or were they too busy telling black men that black men were secretly on the DL, secretly same-sex loving? Were they telling the world that black men were secretly same-sex loving, black men were assaulting black women, black men were the worst people to end up with, black men were incarcerated at a disproportionate number, which is true? But did black women be honest about what that is, or did they just point and blame black men? Everything you said sound good, but you starting the clock way too late. You started too late in the conversation. Black women had the microphone first because of white society. You starting the clock at social media. You're lying and propagandizing your subscribers. Not only that, you're also speaking as if black men were able to just talk crazy in a vacuum on social media, as if black women weren't going back and forth with black men on social media. Chrissy has been online for a decade, Lady Boule. Huh? What are you talking about? Paris Milan was online for a little while. Real Talk with Yanni. Divested Zealot. Huh? You don't remember Statuesque One and all these other women, all these other people that Sarge Willie Pete and them went back and forth with? We're talking about 2015 era, 2014 era. Mr. Z was listening to Sarge Willie Pete back in what, 2010 maybe? 2010, 2011? Yeah. What, there wasn't black women on the internet talking crazy in 2011? What are you talking about? Black women had the microphone first on the talk shows. Black women had the movies they wanted produced. Spielberg coming down from his multi-million-dollar ivory tower, great movies, well known. Huh? Black women got the microphone first because white society is not threatened by y'all. And they knew the first thing you wanted to do, women like you, maybe not you in specific, although the first thing black women of your age want to do was defecate on black men. That's the first thing y'all were going to do. So they gave y'all the microphone, and guess what y'all did? Defecate on black men. And now we're here, and now you're saying to anyone who would listen, I don't know where this came from. The sexist black men, they're so sexist. Oh my God. Huh? Oh boy. Continuing.
So now you have people, including immigrants who arrived after 1965, confidently rewriting American history on global platforms, not out of malice, but out of ignorance. The main people who are jumping up here saying that immigrants built America weren't even able to come to the United States before the Immigration and Nationality Act was passed in 1965. America was already a superpower then. They don't have any idea who built America. So ignorance that could have been prevented if the people with the biggest microphones had been using them to educate instead of attack.
I agree, but who were the people with the biggest microphones? Uh-oh. I agree, but who were the people with the biggest microphones, Lady Boule? Ooh. The black men in the black manosphere? Last time I checked, FD Signifier pretty much said that the black men in the black manosphere were insignificant. Maybe y'all should have a conversation so y'all can get y'all lives together. Huh? All these people, y'all need to look, all of the naysayers and the black manosphere foes, y'all need to go rent out a hall, have a meeting, and get y'all lives together. Because FD Signifier said essentially we're insignificant. Now you saying we have the biggest microphone. Which one is it? We don't have any power. We barely have any influence. But now you're saying not that we have the biggest microphone now. No, we've had the biggest microphone for a decade. I mean, we might have had the biggest microphone and have the biggest microphone if you're talking about a certain something. You know what I'm saying? Eh? Huh? Just saying. But if you're speaking about a literal microphone, who had the microphone? If we go back to the late 80s, who had the microphone? The early 90s, who had the microphone? The mid 90s, who had the microphone? The late 90s, who had the microphone? The early 2000s, who had the microphone? The mid-aughts, who had the microphone? Who had the microphone up until about 2010? Who had the microphone, Lady Boule? Who did white society give the microphone in the black community to? Who did they give the microphone to? No, the internet and social media democratized the town square, and black men got to talk, and black men started talking about a number of things: sports, cars, women. Oops. politics, history, the things that affect black people, black men. I wonder, why would so many black men, and especially young black men, gravitate to the black manosphere? Simply only the algorithm, or is it also their experiences with black women, Lady Boulay? Huh? Oh boy. Continuing.
Happens when cultural stewardship is abandoned. And that's what that was. Cultural stewardship. They should have been stewards over the Black American experience, history, and culture. Instead, they took up that space attacking the women in their community. The manosphere didn't just fail to defend Black American history, they actively distracted from it. While they were busy fighting with their own women, they weren't teaching Black American history, explaining our lineage, protecting our cultural legacy, correcting misinformation, highlighting our contributions to the foundation of this country, and educating the world about who we are.
The world knows who we are. That's why black American men, at least, can go everywhere and pretty much get praised. At best, at worst, indifference, at best, praised. And that link, by the way, is for compassionate, because Mr. Z cannot do a panel discussion today. My apologies, everyone. I'm going to try to shoot for tomorrow afternoon to make up for it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Vince, I cannot bring you up. That's for compassionate. I'm going to try to shoot for a panel discussion tomorrow afternoon, so to make up for it. So my apologies, because I've ran into some things today. It's a whole lot going on. It's a whole lot. Yeah, y'all. So. Yeah, compassionate, if you don't mind. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good, Vince. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I didn't say that earlier. My apologies. Lon over here throwing tomatoes at me. He said, boo. Right. Lon over here throwing tomatoes. Vince throwing tomatoes too. Right. But once again, the world appreciates black men in specific, right? Black people in general, black men in specific, and you're up, compassionate, and appreciate that, right? Whether, so come to find out, the leader of the Viet Cong back in the 60s and the 70s used to hang around with black people in America. Black men. Soul Brother, Not Your War. Ooh, I think they know who we are. Huh? Russian media used to, Soviet media used to make fun and poke fun of America during Jim Crow by showing how they treat their black people in the Soviet Union back during the Cold War. I'm pretty sure they know black people, black American people, Lady Boulay. Huh? One of the most famous faces of commercials for a little while in Japan was a black man from America. Shout out to Passport G. He'll know who I'm talking about. Huh? I'm pretty sure they know black people. Martin Luther King's face, Malcolm X's face is worldwide, right? It's familiar to people. It's known by people worldwide. Barack Obama's face is known to people worldwide. Huh? I don't think these folks need black men in particular to continuously remind them, although we are, that's why wherever we go, black men born and raised in America, but obviously definitely AWS FBA folks are venerated. Huh? So yeah, about that, Lady Boulay. You just talking. Huh? You're just talking. Sounds good. And what's going on, compassionate?
What's up, bro? No, I was.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, it was a lot of things you said. I mean, great show, by the way. I don't mean to interrupt. And my bad, guys.
No, you good. You good.
Out of nowhere. But no, to your point, even because I said something in the comments earlier about that. I think the next frontier of the space is discussing how, broadening this discussion globally, more globally than we already kind of do. I think to your point of like their misperception of the scale of this discussion and the scale of these discussions is highly underestimated. Like, can you share my screen real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Share. So this is a brother out of Uganda. Or share my screen, or like, because I got a video up in the queue.
You got another one? Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
So this is a guy out of Uganda.
Women, right? They lose their virginity voluntarily. So this is a question of just what? Trying to counter them not being able to be what? Pure. But now, if that happens to you, now
give those raped women a pass.
Me, I'm an innocent man. I'm not supposed to be the one to save you from whatever that happened to your life. For me, I'm going to pick what? A virgin. Simple as that. Why do you expect men to save women? Men to understand women's past, men to understand women's stories. When these women say they don't want a broke guy, do they even care to understand that, okay, maybe this guy was born from poor parents. Maybe this guy came from a family with no connections whatsoever. Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy was an orphan? Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy is not able to catch a break? Do they ask themselves that they still want what? A rich man. They don't give a shit about your story. Why should men give a shit about women's stories?
And Compassionate, that's what he called. By the way, I need that clip, Compassionate. I need that. I'm gonna do a whole stream on that. That's a stream. No, but he's right. So that's what equality looks like, ladies. See, this is the ugly part. I detest, y'all don't understand how much I detest that our technocrats aren't honest with women about what equality really look like. I detest that, because what he is saying, as harsh as it may sound, as callous as it may sound, as dismissive as it may sound, as spiteful as it may sound, I'll grant everyone that. Ladies, if you hear it, I hear it too. And
well, no, that's what made me think.
The substance of his words are true, though. Go ahead, Professor.
I'll tell you to drop the link because you started talking about that, and I said to myself, what it occurred to me, what this information, what we discuss and we talk about this raw, and like without holding any punches back from the reality of the situation. What we kind of realizing is the veneer of romance, the veneer of the traditional model and or archetype or story of partnering and assortative mating and such is slowly breaking down and being chipped away down to the I guess, for lack of a better term, red pill reality of things. So like years ago or generations ago, maybe a guy didn't really have to make that point that he just made. Didn't have to say the callous reality of it, where if women don't give a fuck about my story, I don't give a fuck about theirs. Because we had a veneer, we had a layer of, traditional archetypal stories and narratives that justify, had some built-in conditions that allow justified decoupling. But those things are being shredded away. The women are shredding those away. And I
would say the women in the elite are shredding that, and then all the rest of us are having to deal with that, men and women. Yeah. So between the feminist, quite frankly, and I'm gonna have to. I said that a couple of years ago. I was gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it, and we're gonna have to do a stream about a panel discussion about it. From about 3 years ago, and I will actually put real effort into getting in contact with Dr. Green Gorilla, because I think because everybody has what they think a person's seminal work is. For me, when Dr. Green Gorilla coupled feminism with neoliberalism, I listen to that stream maybe twice or 3 times a year. I go revisit it because I think it was chef's kiss of like feminism plus neoliberal capitalism just completely wrecked everybody who's not well off or have a certain type of educational background. For all of us working class people, middle class or lower middle class, working poor, feminism plus neoliberal capitalism just wrecked us. To 18-wheeler sideswipe in the intersection type of time. And you know, so going to what you're saying, I think the elites and the wealthy capitalists and the kind of rad femmes or just feminists, that Frankenstein marriage, that unholy ass marriage just wrecked us, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and that's more precisely who's actually shredding essentially that social contract and the narratives that run along with it. And I'll play this lastly, and then I'll hop down. But I think this ties it together even better, what you've been saying for this last hour.
Nothing
it's on mute.
What y'all are not understanding is men now understand desirability politics in a way that is now more detrimental than it ever could have been. To simplify, a lot of older men gained clarity. A lot of younger men are now not even indulging in these ideals in the first place, and it's jumbling up into a way where we haven't gotten this place before. We have not gotten to the place where dudes are just like, no, this doesn't make sense. But the catch is, it does make sense. It always has made sense. What these niggas don't understand is you're not going to be rewarded for doing the quote-unquote right thing. It was never moral in the first place. It's not moral to give a bitch shit. It's not moral to get all these accolades and all these different things to get women to like you. It's not moral. The fact that some of these bitches will fuck a bum-ass nigga because he's fine is all the validation you need in the world. You don't understand. Okay, women, now I'm talking to you. Men now understand that as a law, y'all will fuck a bum because he got some good dick. Think about it from a perspective of a nigga who might think he gotta get all these things and all this other shit, right? Maybe if he just finds a girl that likes him for how he just looks and how he is right then and there, he might be happier. So what y'all are saying is like, wait, if people like me, I don't have to do these things and jump through these hoops that society said I had to before. And not like it's y'all are just seeing I would say crisis of consciousness. Like they don't, either the young men are like, yo, this shit's stupid. I never would even indulge in this. And y'all can say social media, this, social media, whatever. It's literally them realizing shit in real time. And women, all y'all do is make it worse. Oh, he got to do this. He got to do that. As he should. You're pretending as if these people owe you something by being born. What do you think happens when they realize, no, bitch, you're stupid? And that's actually egotistical and narcissistic as fuck. Word, what now? What now? What now? I'm not even like, you already see how I'm thinking. I already was never part of this shit. I already knew what the game was from young. I don't give a fuck. A bitch don't want to fuck me as I am. But you get what I'm saying? Like the niggas are understanding it now to a point where y'all are getting mad. But it's like, sorry, you overplaying a hand. You overplay hands. Some of y'all ain't even bad enough to overplay these hands. They're hands you weren't even dealt. Like, come on, bro. There's no.
Yeah, compassionate. I don't know if you're still there. I might be in a place where I'm borging. But yeah. So I saw this before. No, okay. No, I saw this. Actually, think because I don't remember because it's a couple of weeks, I think. So he's telling the truth. Number one. Number two. Simply put, if she like you, she like you. If she don't, she don't. And if she has you jumping through hoops, then she don't like your ass. Even if she give you some vagina, you're not that guy. You're not him to her. And you know, one of the things that you hear women speak about therapy. You hear women speak about them loving themselves and a woman being a woman, regardless if she's with a man or not, and not accepting the bare minimum or the crumbs. Women say that to each other. Women don't appreciate and they don't want men to start saying, you know what? Yeah, that applies to me too now, doesn't it? No. You're supposed to overextend yourself. You're supposed to no, men. No. You are supposed to prove yourself. You are supposed to overextend yourself. And what you could see this brother in a bit of frustration because you can tell like the women's issue is that men like this, young men like this, they're not playing that game. Increasingly, they're not playing that game.
Well,
I remember seeing.
It's the social
Wait, say
contract
again?
theory. It's the social contract theory. It's that what we watching is like in real time, the dissolution of that social contract. And with social contracts, we had like generations of narratives built on top of that, like love, romance. What's Shorty talk about the death of romance with that kind of comes with patriarchy.
Oh yeah, Dr. Sabrina Strings.
Yeah, like those concepts that's not a frivolous concept as we think. Those was what the threads that held society together and justified, family formation, justified a lot of things. What we're watching is the dissolution of that. I mean, like on the women's side, that they rewrote their contract decades ago. But from the men never reacted or haven't reacted up until now. And what we're seeing, like a Z, he probably a Zer, is probably is the men now reacting to the upending of that contract. And once that contract is broken, and you have like a society of critical mass of like males that are red pill thinking, like practically.
Let me do this. Let me do this real quick. Compassionate, my bad. Everyone, I'm not compassionate. Asked for the link. That's why I brought them up. I can't do a panel discussion today. No. You're good right now. But I have people I'm asking in the back. My apologies, y'all. I know and I put the link, and I should have said it earlier before I put the link. But I can't do a panel discussion. Man, if y'all only knew, Z's life right now is upside down on fire. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's just a lot going on. So going to what Compassion is saying. So the young men in particular are responding to the environment. I wanted to bring up the speed dating and matchmaking event thing. I watched something a little while ago, and it's a common sentiment, but it struck me from this young man saying it. Why would we go to the matchmaking events when the men y'all want are not there? So we're gonna go and we're gonna do our little two-step and our little dance in front of you for you to not choose us or not find us attractive, because the men that you want aren't there.
Yeah, just by the very nature. So it means I'm not.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So thank you. It's non-select men appreciating their non-select men and not even going to be publicly embarrassed. Or someone said, why would I pay to go to a matchmaking event for me to get rejected to my face? And you could tell this is a young man because he's talking about social media. Excuse me, I had to sneeze, y'all. Social media, being rejected on social media or just being left on red, right? And I think at scale, obviously, this is not a good thing at all. At scale, this is not a good thing. But on an individual basis, I appreciate it. I understand it. Why would I overextend myself and especially if a woman puts you in the friend zone, if she's not feeling you, you could tell. And there's young men appreciate that I'm not going to merit my way into her heart. I either am the guy she likes or I'm not. There's no way I'm not meriting my way into her heart. Either she met me and she likes me and she finds me attractive enough, or she doesn't. And if there's some paywall that I have to overcome for her to find me appealing, then she doesn't really like me. The guy that she likes didn't have to do any of that. They might have went on a date. They might have went on 2 dates and she gave up the vagina. If even a date, right? Yeah. Where I have to be put on the 90-day program and quote unquote prove myself, I'm not the guy then. Even if she does give me vagina at the end of the 90 days, I'm not the guy.
Right. Yeah, and that's part when we say the social contract, that's like part B 304Z in the contract, is that women were supposed to because the reality is this has always been the reality in terms of male and female human nature, that women would want to fuck the men that they want to fuck, and the men that they want to fuck are usually is the minority of men, the pre-select men, as you spoke about. But that's always been a case in every human society. What women crafted through a social contract with men was maintaining the narrative that what you said, that you could merit your way into a woman's heart. And then she would submit. She would take your hand in marriage, and so on and so forth. These narratives that women I think helped like you said, the elite and the social elite and at the academic level, they crafted the policy and crafted the theories, but women didn't realize how important or crucial a pillar that narrative was that underpinned essentially like economies at scale, like justification for partnering, like for most men to even partner. You have to have that narrative, but we are going into a society or a period in which that narrative is whittled away, and the reality is such as which, and that can't, like you said, at scale it can't. We're at an individual level, totally understand at an individual level why would men not play this game if it's not real, but they weren't ever supposed to find out it wasn't real. That's the point.
Yeah, and so you're seeing the societal collapse, because these were things that were supposed to stay in the war council, in your mom's living room. It was supposed to stay in the hair salon or the nail salon. And as much as women, particularly black women, accuse black men of taking some of the gripes, I'm talking to you, Lady Boulay, and taking it out of the barbershop, black women actually did that first. Black women took the hair salon, the black hair salon talk, and the nail salon talk, and they took it out, and they tried to denigrate black men in front of white society. In an attempt to be the model minorities of the black community. And what that left them with is goddamn alone. Their autonomy cost them security. Their autonomy is just a fancy word for loneliness. So that's this young man, but quite frankly, more and more men are realizing, because the women are so loud about it on social media and the internet, and your algorithm will feed it to you. They're so loud about their contempt for everyday men and how they quote unquote settle for everyday men. Everyday women talking about they settled for everyday men. Everyday women saying the best man you could find is just the average woman. And all of this talk to up their value so that they could get better quality men. And it's not working, and it's causing them to be even more incensed and talk even more crazy. Then it doesn't work. Then they talk even more crazy. It doesn't work. And this loop is just causing men and women to get further and further apart, because women they think their $48,000 a year job and their degree should not even just allow for them, guarantee them $150,000 a year man, $200,000 a year man, over 6 feet, 7 or 8 inch member, status, and all of that. And they're just angry that it's not going that way. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And let me read that from Els Active, because he gave us the quote. And why would I pay to singles event when I could get rejected for free? And that's the one I was talking about, Els Active. Thank you. That's exactly the quote I was talking about. And a young man said that, and it just, because we heard it from multiple people, multiple men, this type of sentiment. But when he said it, and he said it in those words, thank you, Els Active, once again, I was like, yep, exactly. And that's the sentiment, and it's understandable. And yeah. So bro, that young man said it. We understand if we're not a select man. If we're non-select, we get it. Or at least for you, if we're non-select for you, we get it. And so we're not going to overextend ourselves for a woman that clearly does not find us appealing or attractive like that. And that's it.
Yeah. And how does that translate into the social designer like a Scott Galloway? We're not going to overproduce. That's cascade at scale, which is what we speak about, what we see Scott Galloway and them speaking to, that this position of the Z, of where like they're growing up in a society where it's okay, well, I'm only going to go with the girls that like me for what I am right now. Like I'm not like all that, self-improvement and getting the gym, all that bullshit. Most men are not necessarily going to go that overproducing and getting jobs. He said accolades. I'm not chasing accolades. That's going to reverberate at scale, because I think he's speaking to what more and more Zs and alphas are growing up in terms of the dynamics. And that's
and they become minimalist. Women are showing you through action that it's the top 20, maybe 25% of nothing. And so the men who are not there, or who are not a hop, skip away, so pretty much I would definitely the quotes bottom 2/3 of men, and definitely the bottom half of them are not even going to attempt. And when we talk about the bottom half, top half, that's a mixture of height, looks, status, income, education, etc. If you're in the bottom 2/3, definitely if you're in the bottom half, those men have, and I would argue as we start to get younger and younger in generation, they will resign themselves to not having women for long stretches of time in their life, or if ever. They're just gonna resign, do their job, they're just not go above and beyond because they appreciate their relegated rest of society women, if any. And instead of dealing with the baby mama with 3 kids from 3 different dudes, instead of dealing with the smoked out chick, instead of dealing with the ex-con woman, instead of dealing with all these, I just would rather chill out. And so when women say that, I understand it. But our society doesn't expect men to be that way. Our society expects men to be the stereotype of the horn dog that'll pop anything and that will he see a woman's heart of gold behind that thick layer of bulletproof, bomb-proof, titanium around her heart, right? And he'll merit his way into her heart with good gestures and just being a good man. And young men said, F all that. And at scale, and on an individual level, it's not the worst thing in the world. At scale, oh, you got a problem.
Yeah,
you have a major problem if the bottom 80%, 75%, definitely the bottom 2/3 of men, yeah, I ain't gonna do too much outside of what I usually do.
Yeah, none of the models account for
Go ahead,
that.
you were saying something. Go ahead.
None of the models, of the economic models they have account for like lying flat. It's just not. It's not. Once you get there, then it's just. It's not even a conversation. Then the math stops mathing. So, and like I said, I don't know how. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
you say something. Go ahead.
But no, so I've watched Professor Galloway and Richard Reeves on different occasions essentially kind of goad men with like, yo, like be loose and folding in on yourself. That's not manly. So going to what you're saying is like they don't even know how to get men out of there if they can't promise men cooperative women. And like everyone knows that's the issue, but they can't promise that because quite frankly, we haven't produced that in decades. That doesn't mean that this man may not get one of those or that man may not get one of those. But on the conveyor belt of America, we haven't produced cooperative women in decades. Right? So we're not talking about outliers. So because we haven't produced cooperative women, particularly for the working class of men, the lower middle class, the middle class of men, if you got lucky and got one, you got lucky and got one. But if you didn't, so be it. She's going to divorce you in 5, 6, 8 years, 10 years, and try to take whatever she could take on the way out the door. And because that is the current goings on in America, the men and the boys are moving accordingly. It's not the black manosphere radicalizing the men, as I keep on saying. It's the boys' own experiences, and it's the women being so loud on the internet and social media. What does Pop the Balloon show us? Forget the commentary for people like us. What is, if your 17-year-old and your 16-year-old is watching Pop the Balloon, is it the men or is it the women on Pop the Balloon? If the men, the young men, 17, 16, even 18, 20, 21, if they're watching the whatever show, is it Adam or is it the women? Right? Like as bad as Myron is, is it Myron? Women on Fresh and Fit. Was it Kevin Samuels or was it the women calling in? Listen, it's not Kendra G. It's not Ashley Dalton. The women that are calling in are complete and total mess, whether she's educated or not, whether she's air quotes up class or not. These people are people. They're calling into these shows or they're showing to these shows, and this is how they think. This is how they move. This is what they believe. This is how they speak. They're the ones radicalizing in this. If I grant you the word radicalizing, they're the ones radicalizing the young men. It's the women. It's the girls in their weird view of what a relationship should be. in what I played earlier, I'm gonna do a whole stream on that with the African young lady was saying, where I want a man to be over there doing his thing, and I'm over here doing my thing, and maybe we meet up for a week or so. Bro, if you go through the internet, and shout out to Dee Dee, because I'm gonna review it right off of her channel. Was it Dee Dee? Or was it Dee Dee? It was the other sister. Or was it Dee Dee? It wasn't Dee Dee. It was the other sister. It was the other one. It was the other one. I'm shout out to her. I'm sorry for the I apologize to the wrong. But a young lady, and she has it on her channel where the women are just talking about, I don't want no man in my house, and I don't deal with that. And look, and it's all black women, right? Now we can stop having the conversation about why black men are dating up, marrying out. Black women are showing you why. Black women and girls are showing you why they're contempt. They're showing you why with how antagonistic and aggressive they are concerning black men. The little attitude they get when they speak about black men. One time I was reviewing, what was that name of that dark-skinned black woman that went around the world and stuff. Oh my God, her face is right there. She has her hair in a neck. She would usually all the time. She's a dark-skinned black woman. She houses, and she has a channel dedicated to the black and getting to America and traveling. And but I was reviewing her, and she was speaking. She mentioned black men for like a couple minutes, and you could just see the demeanor and the attitude completely change. She became so aggressive and so antagonistic. And even when she mentioned, you know, when a black woman would come into town and we'll meet up, and then her husband, we'll just send him off. And the way she said it with such attitude, right? With such just the attitude she said it with, we'll just send him off. And I'm just like, bro, like, that's why black men aren't with black women increasingly. That's exactly why. They just the contempt y'all have. They're always trying to put us in our place, put black men in their place. As Whoopi Goldberg said, black men are used to black women telling them what to do. Hey, it's a new day. You know, so yeah, bro. But I'm gonna have to end out everyone because this, yeah. We gonna have to 2.5 hours. We got.
Appreciate you.
My goal is to discussion. No problem. And definitely revise parents. Zulu, y'all. I'm gonna try to bring them tomorrow. Y'all will be the first ones tomorrow. So that's what we'll do. I don't even think finish Carrie because Z has to do, right? But today's panel discussion. Oh man, this is not working the way I wanted to. Okay, so I'm probably borging because there we go. Okay, show is highlighted, but it's not showing. Okay, all right, that's where it goes. There we go. So we'll try to cover the rest of this tomorrow. Probably not, but we'll see. You left off some super chats, St. Cyr says. Wait, what? I thought I read all of them. Wait a minute. I read that one from you, St. Cyr. Read that from Big Mo. No, I think I got all of them. Talking about that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Shout out to the replay gang. Thank you, bud. Hype button. Cash app available. Links in the description box. Oh man, and I did not put the live comments up today. Oh, I just realized that I didn't have the comments on the screen and my banner up. Or Chiron. Is it Chiron? Or either way, whatever. So my apologies, everyone. My apologies. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, that clip was from Zulu, and shout out to Zulu for the clips. And thank you, Compassionate. Shout out to Zulu. So Zulu definitely got to come up tomorrow so he could explain where he found it and all that other stuff, right? No, I didn't miss Tony's. I read Tony's earlier. Yeah. So we'll pause right there. Shout out to Zulu for that clip. Send me those clips, by the way, Compassionate. Both of them. The one with the young brother, because I saw it before. I don't remember if I downloaded it. I think I did, but it's probably further down in my downloads, and I don't want to go looking for it. I'm not gonna lie. So send me both of those clips, but especially of the African brother speaking, because exactly. Hysterical. Indigo getting on you, Zulu. He said necessarily. Shout out to Zulu. Look, we all got a word. This is one of our idiosyncrasy, if Mr. Z could pronounce it. We all have our word or our statement. We all have our word. Mr. Z got his words. Y'all know when Mr. Z walk in the room, I'm going to say something and y'all going to be like, yeah, that's Mr. Z. Right? And thank you for that. Compassionate already sent some. Thank you, Compassionate. And so on that note, everyone, We will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. Mr. Z is going to figure out if I want to keep these words the way I have them. Age does not wisdom make. Or should I change it to wisdom does not age make, which I think is probably the right order of the words. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll pause right here, truly. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And Mr. Z out.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.